Great, thank you. And we need to check if we're quartered, and that means that if there's enough people from each group, that needs to be at least 4 self-advocate members, 4 family and friends members, 4 peer supporter members. There is a Zoom poll to do this. So Sam will start this in a bit. And people can put it in the chat or unmute and say if that is easier. So do we want to do that now?
So yeah, in the chat there's a link. Hopefully you can all see it. If you can use the survey, the poll, that's great. There's a link that you can click on, or if you use QR codes, you can hold a phone up to that QR code, and that'll take you to it. Or as Jodie says, you can write it in the chat what kind of member you are if you haven't already, or you can unmute if you want to tell us. We'll just give you a moment to be able to do that. Thank you, everybody. So, Jodie, we have enough people for us to be quora.
Brilliant.
And we've got more than enough. And I can, I'll share the picture in the chat, but we can carry on. Thank you, everybody.
Brilliant. So apologies. So we have 3 apologies today. One from Lisa Hopkins, Katie and Liz Tilly. So today we are welcoming 3 new trustees, Palmy, Jordan and Christina. Were chosen by the rep bodies and they were formally approved by the trustees in October. We welcome them.
Jodie, I've got a question.
Yeah?
What date of October? What date? What of the date on October? What date is it?
I think they were welcomed on the 16th of October.
Yeah.
I think I'd need to double check, but I'm screen sharing, so I can't do it. But I think it's 16th of October that was decided.
So we welcome them and look forward to working together. So if you're there, welcome. And Jordan, would you like to introduce yourself? Right. Is Palmy there? Or Christina? Okay.
I could see Christina trying to talk, but she was muted.
All right. Oh, well, welcome. And we look forward to working with you. So next, the minutes from the last AGM, we sent them out. Is there any mistakes, and anyone want to say anything about the notes? Okay. So now I'll hand over to Sarah.
Thank you very much, Jodie. So I'm the other half, Jodie. We're both the co-chairs here at Learning Disability England. And it's so amazing to see so many people here this morning. And I get the great job to talk a little bit about the work that Learning Disability England has done in the past year. And I think it's really important to make clear that we are a very small organisation, but I hope when you see the work that this team and all of its members have achieved, we pack a big punch for a small organisation. So as you can see there, that, you know, the most important thing, we are a membership organisation. And if you look at the end of 2024, we had 178 organisations and groups, and we had 483 individual members. So our membership is staying solid and it's growing, and we're really proud about that. Let's go to the next slide. So why do we exist? And we are here as Learning Disability England to make life better for and with, and the important word there is with, people with learning disabilities and their families. We're not here to speak for people. We're here to make sure that their voice is heard across all the different areas of our work. And we do that by, you know, supporting the work of other organisations and individuals and family members. We always try and make sure that we celebrate other actions or achievements. So again, we can highlight them as we're going around the country, or we can put them in our newsletters that you get every Monday morning. And we make sure that we lead. We want to make sure that when taking action, we believe that we do that together, because we think that's the best way through. And we know that we're a membership organisation. We've talked about that. So it is about creating stronger links together. It's very important, we think, that we influence and we campaign. And one of the things you'll probably hear about next year will be the important work that we're involved in around the COVID inquiry. We think it's important that we solve problems together, and that we make sure that we share when we find solutions so that other people can learn from that. And again, the bigger our networks are, the more we can learn, the better and stronger we become. So go to our next slide, please. I'm not going to talk a lot about building good lives, because you're going to hear more about that when Angela and Scott speak. But as you will remember, the Good Lives Manifesto has been a really important part of the work of Learning Disability England for the past couple of years. And again, it's important to say it doesn't belong to Learning Disability England. It brings together all of the ideas that all of our members and other people have told us about what is needed for everybody with learning disabilities to be able to live a good life. And again, I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to steal the thunder of what's coming next. So in terms of sharing solutions, which we think is very important, if you have a look at that, you know, this year, the very small team have managed to hold 10 member network meetings, 7 member only webinars, 3 public webinars. But when you look at those 20 events, if my maths is right, you've got more than 700 places were used. So 700 people were able to hear more about and share their solutions to what really will contribute to making a good life. Thank you. We talk about speaking up together. We never speak up for people. Everything is done together. And so we did get involved as an organisation in lots of consultations this year. So that's when people kind of put out something and say, what do you think about it? And to give you an example of what some of them were, is the disability action plan that the government wrote. We asked our members, what do you think? And we shared our views. The Oliver McGowan mandatory training, there's a code of conduct, and I'm sure some people on the call will have been on the training or are trainers. Again, we shared what we thought about that. We talked about housing, because we know that's very important to a lot of our members. So how social housing is allocated and given to people. Closing of the ticket offices at the train stations, that was something people felt very strongly about.
I've got a question.
Sorry, I missed that.
I've got a question.
Yes.
What does disability training mean?
The Oliver McGowan training.
Yeah, what does it mean?
That's a piece that was it's a new law really. It's not that new anymore. But basically, if you work and you support somebody
Yeah.
with autism, then it's very important that you understand what that means. And so there is now training, and it's in different levels. So it depends if you work directly with somebody, you'll get more training. But you might be a receptionist in a GP surgery, so you'll get some training. And the training is it's done together. So there'll be somebody with lived experience of autism and somebody who hasn't. So there's another hand up. I can say, oh, there's lots of hands up. Should we go to sorry, I can't see everyone's name.
I think Anoop was first.
Right, sorry,
and then
Anoop.
Steve.
Okay.
I think.
I was going to say I want one of Oliver McGowan trainer.
Oh, fantastic. So you'll have probably had a very, very busy sort of year or so, because there's a lot of training that needs to be done at the moment. So that's fantastic. Thank you.
And have you seen new leader report come on last month?
Sorry, have I seen it? Was it the new video, did you say?
No, new leader report.
No, I think Sam's not.
No,
Not
no, I don't think we have yet. No.
Okay.
Okay, so
No.
we'll when we do, we'll all talk about that and share. I'm sure there'll be some updates in the newsletter.
Yeah, it's not out yet.
Okay.
No.
So Steve.
Yes, because I'm Steve. I'm from
When
Birmingham.
it will be out?
We don't know yet. I think the government have to decide when it'll come
It's
out.
end of
about-
last month. It was
Yeah.
going to be out end of
Okay.
last month.
Yeah, the government will decide. So NHS England have to get the government's permission to share it.
Okay, Sam.
Okay, Steve.
So I'm Steve. I'm from Kent. I'm from BMIX, and we got the contract to run the Manchester training in Kent and Medway. So we're setting it up right now. So we've got trainers, we've got people involved. So hopefully next year we can actually run Manchester training in Kent and Medway. So that's quite new to us, really. So so we got the contract to on that and Kent and Medway. So everybody's excited about.
I think that's brilliant, and I'm so pleased. I've done some of the training, and I have to say it is absolutely superb. And for me, what makes a big difference is that it's run, with people with lived experience, and it's not just a training course on autism. So it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So moving on. Sorry, I'm very conscious. I'm taking up quite a lot of other people's time here. If we move to our next, before we move to the next slide, you can see there that we've been involved in lots of blogs and lots of visits. Look at that. There were 43,000 visits to Learning Disability England to the website. So that is great, because people spend a lot of time putting things on the website. So fantastic. So if we look at our next slide, which is about bringing people together so that we can learn more. And this year we've done several projects that were all about the experiences of people from ethnic minority communities with learning disabilities and their families. And that's involved working with on research. So really learning and looking at what's happening. And we've done that with the Race and Health Observatory, with the Race Equality Foundation. We've worked with universities, so University of Central Lancashire and Metropolitan University in Manchester. We've also worked with lots of different organizations, so things like Changing Our Lives, and all of our work has really been to really try and focus on the specific experiences of people from minority ethnic communities. So you'll be able to again see and read all of these reports, and that's going to continue to be a big focus of our work. Our work with the Valuing of People Alliance continues, with the JMS Trust, our partnership there. So we've been really, really busy, and as an organisation should be very proud about all of our work. Yes.
What JMS mean?
That's a very good question, Sam. I'm not actually sure.
The JMS doesn't have it. It just uses those letters. It doesn't have long words. So they call themselves the JMS Trust. They don't. It doesn't mean anything else. It's a trust that help people get supported living, set up their own supported living. but that's all they are.
Thank you, Sam. Thanks. Okay, and then my next slide, please, if that's all right. Again, really important, just looking backwards again to the conferences, because they are such a fantastic way for us to come together and share. We had 3 conferences in February of 2024. 550 people came. We had 58 different speakers sharing, you know, what they are doing to support the Good Lives. We had some great feedback, and you can see on that slide. So again, thank you to everyone who put these conferences together and came. Yep, we've got another hand up there. You're on mute.
Can you send me details of supposed to leave in thing too?
Sorry, can you just say that again? I missed that.
Can you send me details of supposed to leave in?
The dates for
Supposed to leave in.
For the supported living thing. Yeah, no. And if the trust is closing, so they don't have any more grants to give out at the moment.
Okay.
So I'm really sorry. That's why we didn't promote their work more. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Okay.
Do will it be closed for good or for now?
It's going to close for good next year, they think. So, but I will put a link in the chat to a guide to helping people plan for their own housing that might help. But I'll put that in the chat.
Can you send me on email?
I will. I can. Yeah. And it will make sure one of us does for sure.
Okay, thank you.
So I hope that gives you.
Sam, I've got another question.
Yeah.
Why is closing?
Oh, that's a long story. Can I tell you out of this meeting? And it's not our work, is it? They're just a partner. One of us can chat to you about that. Rachel, who works for them, can chat to you about that. But not. I don't want us to stop everybody hearing about the rest of the work. Is that okay? Yeah.
Thank you. So I hope you'll agree that it's been a very busy and very successful year for Learning Disability England. So we are going to move on, and I'm now going to hand to Paula, who is one of our trustees at Learning Disability England, to talk about the money and to check if anyone's got any comments about how it all works. So Paula.
Okay, can everyone hear me? Just a thumbs up from Sarah. I can't see anybody other than the slide and Sarah, so I'm just going to take my cues off Sarah. Okay, so we as trustees, we have a responsibility to check that all the money coming in and all the money going out, that it all makes sense, it's being spent in the right ways, for the right reasons, and we've checked this year's accounts. But just as an extra check, every organisation also has to have an external accountant, someone else with a fresh pair of eyes who also checks the books. And that means that basically they also have checked that all the money's being spent right and for the purposes it's spent for, and that Sam isn't secretly buying an island to run off to in the South Pacific. So we can rest assured that Sam is here and won't be running off to anywhere soon. Right, on to the next, thank you, the slide. So basically, overall, in year, this slide shows how our income is made up. So that's the money that's coming in. And basically, we have 50% of our income comes from membership, and sorry, let me go back to that. Yeah, 50% of our income comes from our membership, and a smaller amount, but the next biggest amount comes from grants. And over the last few years, one of the things we've been focusing on, because we are a membership organisation, is moving away from grants being the biggest thing that brings money in and having far more members, because as I said, that makes sense as we're a membership organisation. And also grants can be you never quite know if an organisation like we talked about before is going to close down, or if grant money is going to be available. So the more membership money we can get in, the idea is that means that we can be stable in terms of the money coming forward and going through. Okay, next slide. In terms of how we spent the money, I mean, I guess overall, should just say that this year, in terms of the money, was very similar to the last sort of patterns for the last 6 years. And we did make, after all the money had come in and got out, we did make a surplus of £40,000, which is really good news. In terms of how we spent the money, which is what this slide's about, our direct project costs were 30% lower than normal, and that's because we weren't doing as many projects. But we did have more costs on work that we did around membership and our IT system and making that fit for purpose so that we could make sure that we knew who our members are, we're responding to them properly, we're getting their membership monies in, etc. Staff costs overall decreased this year by 7% because we had some vacancies and we didn't fill them straight away, and we used some consultants for pieces of work. But overall, our overheads have basically stayed the same. So what we spent the money on is not massively dissimilar. Next slide. Yes, so our reserves, in terms of this slide, is about what we call our reserves. And our reserves is almost like our savings account, our sort of rainy day account, making sure that if anything goes wrong, there's money to cope with anything unexpected or anything, if anything went wrong. So our policy is that we would have 6 months worth of money to run on and to manage any major problems and unexpected. And this year we had unrestricted reserves of £2,509 So we are well in terms of fulfilling that policy. And I think overall, compared to how we were a few years ago, we now have reserves, we have some money in the bank, we're spending it well, we're managing it well, we're making small surpluses, and things are moving in the right direction. And as trustees, we feel we're going in the right direction in terms of membership and moving things on. And there's further information of detailed information, which I know Sam's just put noting in the chat, that you can see the detailed accounts show you should wish. I can't see anybody, so if there are any questions, somebody will need to tell me.
So are there any questions on the money? Because if there aren't, what we're going to ask you to do is, do you accept the account? So are you happy with what Paul has just told you on behalf of the trustees and our report? I can't.
Yes, I accept the account.
Thank you so much. Is everyone else happy?
I'm happy as well, Sarah.
Oh, thank you, Vicky. That's great. Well, thank you, Paula, and thank you, everybody else. And just before we move on from money, Paula talked about the grants. And just to give you an idea, we just wanted to say thank you to some of our funders. So the Esme Fairbairn Trust, they gave us some money this year. The Charity Aid Foundation Emergency Grant Programme and DCMS COVID helped us with our COVID work. So again, even though we want to move away from relying on grants as much, it is important just to say thank you. So now I've got the pleasure of introducing you to the representative body at Learning Disability England, and the representative body work very closely with the Board of Trustees. And I want to just give you an example that happened in the summer. So I'm sure many of you will remember that there were some very horrible and ugly riots in this country where over the summer where people were protesting about people coming from different parts of the world to live in this country, and it got very, very nasty. And
I heard about it.
Did you? Yeah, it was all over the television.
On the news.
That's right. Yeah, there was a lot in the summer.
I heard about it on the news.
Yeah, and a lot of our members got in touch, and what they were saying is that they'd noticed that on, some people still call it Twitter, but it's now called X, that social media platform, that people were being really nasty and horrible and racist. There were some really ugly, unpleasant comments, and people felt very uncomfortable. And what our members had said is, actually, we don't really want to have anything to do with Twitter or X. And so the representative body had a discussion with the Board of Trustees, and we made the decision that as an organisation we were going to take ourselves away from Twitter or from X, because we didn't want to be part of those discussions that were negative and just they're not the right place to be.
Sarah,
Yeah,
I've got a question. How come How come you're getting away from Twitter or X?
Say that again, sorry.
How come you're getting away from Twitter or X?
Because a lot of our members, Abdul, said that they just didn't like the way the conversations were going. That they seemed very negative. They were very, there were lots of words being used that were discriminatory. And so we took a decision that actually we'll take ourselves away. Maybe if things change in the future, we can go back and ask our members. But that was just an example of how the representative body really leads on all of the what members think. And again, they share that with the trustees. It's not one making, we try and make decisions together. Anoop.
Hello.
Hello.
Can I join your trusted board next year?
So, can you? Sorry, I just missed the last bit. Can you join
your trusted board next year?
Well, when we do a recruit, we've just finished a recruitment, so we would very much like lots more people to join. So Sam, when will we be recruiting again? It won't be next year, will it? It'll be
no, but there will be if we go on to the representative body. And you might want to think about if you want to stand for election as a rep body member, and they're going to be talking about that in a second. We're not expecting to be looking for any new trustees for a little while yet. But there will be representative body elections next year, and they'll tell you about that in a second. No, we don't know exactly yet. Sometime early in 2025.
Okay.
But yeah, they'll let you know as soon as they make.
I'm asking the question: what date in 2025?
I don't know yet. I don't know yet. Sorry.
But again, keep looking at your newsletter every week.
Yeah, but I'm really. I think they're very keen to tell us about their work. Can they do that?
Sam, can we have the newsletter?
Yep. Yeah. Anybody who's a member can get the newsletter, or if you're part of a group that's a member, so you're really welcome to. So if
I'm a member.
In that case, Leslie or Jess will make sure that you get the newsletter after today. If you're not getting it, we'll get it to you.
I'm going to introduce you now to Angela, Phil, and Scott. Who are going to now kind of talk about how the rep bodies have worked for the membership and what plans for consulting on the rep body rules. So I'm going to hand over.
Can we? There was just a question about the Twitter in the chat.
Oh, sorry. What?
Just was asking, are we moving to blue?
We are on Blue Sky. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, that's a very good point. Sorry, and I should have said that. Yeah, so we're still on Facebook, and we're still on, and we've moved on to Blue Sky, and we'll keep an eye on what happens with X, and see what happens, and see what perhaps go back to members maybe later next year and see how things are going. So I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to hand over to the representative body.
Hello, everybody. We haven't worked out who's doing the joining up slides. So I'm Angela Catley. I'm on the representative body. Scott and Phil, do you want to say hello?
Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Watking, and I'm a paid supporter rep on the representative body.
He's Philip, and he's a representative body.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Phil. I think Phil's going to talk about this first slide. Is that right, Phil? Are you happy to do that?
About the representative body, the members elect. 12. Representative 2. Make sure LG does things that members say is important. Connect to members and feedback. Representatives come from 3 voice groups: people with learning disability and self-advocacy groups, family and friends, and family carer groups. groups. Also, paid supporters.
Thanks ever so much, Phil. That's really helpful. And there's some fantastic pictures there of the 12 current representative body members. Yeah. Can we have the next slide, I think? So we're going to talk, we're going to do one slide in turn, and we're going to talk about what representative body members did, or what some of the representative body members did in the year 2023 to 2024. There's more things than what we've got listed here. This is just a few of the things that some of the representative body members told us about. So there's a lot. So I think Scott's going to do the first one.
Absolutely. Thank you, Angela. And yes, we worked really hard in 2023 and 2024. And actually, the representative body did lots and lots of work. So one of the first things we did was we met with the previous government administration. We met with the Disability Minister, Tom Pursglove, who spoke to us, and we talked about how we could get involved in the Disability Action Plan. We also helped develop a new resource online on Do Not Resuscitate, and we still know there's lots going on about DNARs, Do Not Resuscitate, being put on people's medical records still. So this is an ongoing thing at the moment. We've worked with the Nursing and Midwifery Council, the also known as the NMC, on the regulation of advanced practitioners to make sure that they're hearing and from people with learning disabilities and families. We attended the mental health bill in 2025 stakeholder events, and we were part of two CQC expert advisory groups. We've tried to influence the new Down Syndrome Act and guidance, and we've worked really hard to try and get our members' points across around the guidance to make that happen. We're part of the APPG on social care, and that is that we can try and influence and change the way social care may work in the future. We're working with Skills for Care on delegated healthcare activities done by support workers and personal assistants. So we've done a lot, and I'm going to pass you back now to, I think it's Angela on the next slide.
Scott, before you go, we've got a question from Ben, I can see. And Anoop.
Okay. Should we go Ben first and then Anoop?
Hello. About the you attended the Mental Health Bill 2025. Is that for next year then?
So, we've attended the stakeholder groups for the mental health bill, which some of that happened within between 23 and 24, but it's actually going through Parliament at the moment for its second reading, to be made into law. So
this is nothing to do with the mental health reforming the Mental Health Act of 1983 then, is it?
So it is part of that, yes.
Because I've been doing work on that and campaigning on that. I had an opinion piece published last November in the Times about that.
Okay.
Right, Ben. Well, Ben, we need to make sure that your campaigning and your work is linked up with Ivan, who's the rep, who's been the main lead from the rep body. So he's here now, and so he can see you on a screen, and we'll make sure that you get more than just seeing each other on a screen. Do you know what I mean? We'll make sure you're connected.
And I think Alison's just answered in the chat that in the 2025 bit is because it's expected to become law in 2025. That's the confusing bit, I think. So so Anoop, if that's okay.
Anoop, you're on mute.
Do you know any of that old government codes?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that, Anoop.
Do you know any about government codes? Government codes in social care? If any codes on care?
Not at the moment. I might ask my colleagues, my other colleagues, if they can answer that. Sorry, Sam.
I'm not sure. You're asking about social care, Anoop, is that right? Yeah, because this meeting is mostly about what happened last year. So, like, lots of people are involved in work on social care now. So, if you want to know more, then Amanda or Gary can let you know what's going on now, like, and in planned. But what Scott's talking about is what they did last year when because it's an AGM, so we're looking backwards, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense? Yeah. But I mean, Gary and Amanda can make a note to let you know what's going on now. Yeah. Brilliant.
And can you make a note? I'm interested to be a rep too.
Great. Great. Okay. We'll make sure that you get the information when there is a date and stuff. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, Angela, over to you.
Thank you, Scott. So I'm going to talk about the work that the representative body has been doing around Good Lives. And I think there's been lots of work. I won't say too much because Sarah's already mentioned some of this, but there's been lots of work by lots of people on promoting the Good Lives framework and the new manifesto. So in all sorts of ways at different conferences and events and meetings, we've been talking about both of those. There's been work to develop the manifesto, so to actually get that written and published as well. Somebody, I don't know who, has been part of the Nice People and Communities Network. Is that Ivan and James? Maybe somebody could nod. No, don't know.
Scott, I've got a question for you.
Can we do questions at the end if that's all right? Just so that Angela can finish telling everybody about it.
Yeah.
Is that all right if we do that? Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've been part of the Valuing People Alliance, and we've been part of work that the People's Voice Media Organisation have been doing, part of their hackathon, which is a very funny way of saying conference or meeting, listening. And they had one of their strands of work was about focusing on people who don't use speech. So we've been doing a lot of things. I also think we haven't got it written on here, but I think people have been contacting their MP as well to talk about the Good Lives framework as well. And I bet there's a lot more than that, but that's a bit of what we've been doing around Good Lives. And I'm now going to hand you over to Phil, who's going to talk to you about the next bit. If we could have the next slide, please, ready for Phil, that would be lovely.
To help LGA run and do well, we need trustee recruitment, membership, subgroup to attract more, and different members, annual conferences, meet the rep events, work on body terms, proposing to change how long red body members serve from 3 to 4 years. The whole red body agree this was a good idea. Agreed. We needed to consult. The whole membership developed a survey that is going out. In the newsletter, people have a month to respond.
Thank you ever so much, Phil. Really appreciate that. And I think the last bit that Phil said there, I think is something we all of us want to highlight to you all, please, is the fact that this survey is out there, and we would really like everybody, all members, to fill it in, to respond to that survey. Is there anything else we need to say about that, Jess, or is that enough?
I guess just to say that the survey is that the rep body are proposing they change their terms from 3 years to 4 years because that gives them more time to get used to the role and make change. And they want to know if you think that's a good idea too. And the survey is just 3 questions. It shouldn't take too long to fill out. And we'll close it in the new year.
Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Phil. I think
Anoop, I can see your hand is up.
Is your survey in easy to read?
Yes.
Is that a yes, Angela?
I know, Jess.
Yes. But yes, it should be accessible.
Okay.
But if anybody has any problem, they can get in touch with any member of the team or any of the reps if you know them, and let us have feedback that way. It's not a problem to do it in different ways. There are members network meetings every month, and you can always join one of those and just pop in and say what you think. So we're really open to hearing in any way, and we'll make sure the rep body gets everybody's feedback.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Yeah.
And they've put the survey in the chat here as well. So if any, there's a link there that you can click if you want to do that. So that's lots of ways to get involved. So I think that's everything from us, is it? And we haven't got any more slides, have we? I don't think we do.
No.
I think we're moving. I'm handing over to somebody else, but
So
I don't.
you're coming back to me. So,
Oh,
so thank you very much, Phil, Angela, and Scott. And Paula and I are going to do 2 bits now. First one is I'm going to talk to you and ask about the appointment of our auditors. And the auditors are the people who we have to pay to come in and make sure that the way we're spending our money and all of our accounts are absolutely right, and there's no problem with them. We use a company called Polkadot and Ellis, and they have been our the accountants at LDE for quite some time. We would like to use them again. So we're just asking members, do you think that's a good idea? Are you happy that we can use Polkadot and Ellis for another year?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Abdul. I'm not seeing any objections, so we'll say that one that's great. Thank you very much. So I'm going to pass now to Paula, who's just going to talk to you about the banks that we use.
Yeah, I get all the exciting stuff in the meeting. So Carter Allen are our main current bankers. As trustee, we check with Sam that the bank we use is in line with our values, that we get some money in terms of interest with it, and these seem to be in line with our values and useful for us. So we propose that they can continue. And for information, we let you know that we also have a savings account with the Charity Aid Foundation and Charity Bank, again, in line with our values. So I can't see anybody else apart from Sarah, but we're asking that we carry on using the same arrangements.
I'm happy.
Thank you, Vicky. That's great. Thank you so much, everybody. And so we're now going to move on, and we're going to hear from Gary and Amanda, and they're going to talk to us about the future plans for building good lives. So really looking at what Learning Disability England will work on to build good lives together moving into the future. So again, Gary and Amanda.
Right. we're refreshing the Good Lives um, um, all the chapters and we're updating all the Good Lives chapters with updated examples of good practice. We're looking to make it more inclusive by adding views by people from minority ethnic groups and people with profound and multiple learning disabilities. We're adding a new health chapter and transport chapter, and there'll probably be more to come. Please fill out the survey. It's open until early 2025. Members' meetings had to be cancelled due to illness. Should we do it before Christmas or after Christmas?
So yeah, just to add on to what Gary said, we were due to have our members network meeting last week where we were going to talk about lots of examples of members doing work around Good Lives, and due to illness that had to be cancelled. So we just wanted to ask you guys what you thought, whether we should or whether people would be interested in us running it. Yes.
We can do it now.
Can do it
before Christmas.
Yeah, you think before Christmas would be good?
Yeah, not after Christmas.
Yeah. After Christmas for the meeting.
Not before.
Not before, yeah. I think there are some people are saying after Christmas to allow time to promote and for people to prepare. So it looks like lots of people would like to do it after Christmas. So it will be early in the new year to make sure that we can gather people's stories and examples so that can go into the refreshed Good Lives manifesto. Anna, did you have a question there? Oh, you're on mute.
You're on mute.
Is this included in Oxford Ways?
Is this included in what? Sorry, Anna?
Oxford Ways.
Oh, I didn't quite catch that. Can you say that again?
Oxford Ways?
Oxford Ways.
I don't quite know what you mean by that one, but we want to hear.
A council, 5E plan. Big plan.
Oh, the council's plan.
Yeah, is that included in that?
If it's an example of good practice, we'll include it. Yeah, because we want to hear what members are doing around the Good Lives manifesto and the Good Lives work. So yeah, maybe we should chat after this about what you think. That would be great. Okay, cool, great. So we will definitely reschedule that members network meeting because it's a great way for us to.
I've got a question, Amanda.
Yes,
what date are you looking at in the new year?
We haven't set a date yet, but it'll probably be.
Can I go to it, please?
Yeah, of course. We'll send an email round to everybody to let them know.
Can you email my choice, please?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we'll do.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you. So we will run a network meeting so people can share their work, what they've been up to around Good Lives. Yeah, that'd be great. Gary, is there anything else to add there?
I don't think so. We just if anybody's still got any ideas or anything they would like to put in the Good Lives chapters, maybe they could. We'd be delighted to hear from you. So please keep on sending some of the ideas. And if there are chapters we haven't got at the moment, please send your ideas for chapters we haven't got.
Thank you, Gary and Amanda. Anoop, can I check? Is that a new hand? Have you got another question, or is that an old hand? Oh, thank you. Okay. Well, we're at the point in the agenda now where I'm going to ask anyone if we've got any other business, any other things that people want to ask, sort of looking back on our past year. No, I'm not seeing anything. Thank you. Oh, no. Yeah, sorry. Yes, hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
My voice on. I'm new. I'm just interested in sort of trying to get round the background on the website of what you've been doing, because I'd like to know more about my daughter. For instance, has Down syndrome, and she's an artist, and I'm trying to work with the council support workers or social workers on making sure that she can progress with that. And it's in relation to sort of money spending, really, on how you can spend your budget things from. They seem not to know the difference between a personal budget and just payments by direct payments. Confusing, really confusing. So we might take it to a more senior level. And it's just, I want to know how the Down Syndrome Act, you think, is going to impact on what is possible for people with learning disabilities generally and people with Down syndrome, especially, as that's my main concern at the moment. Thank you.
Sam?
I knew that was coming my way.
You knew it was coming to you.
We don't know yet. We don't know what the Act is doing at the moment. What the government are doing at the moment is they are writing the guidance, the statutory guidance that everybody will have to follow.
Yeah.
And when they're going to consult on that in early 2025. When that is known, I think we'll have a better idea as to what that might be like. But genuinely at the moment. Now, there are member reps who are here who've been part of trying to influence the statutory guidance. And I know it's a rubbish answer, but I'm sorry, we don't know yet.
Okay, just so I check, because I'm very disappointed in the quality of social workers, to be quite honest. We had some discussion, a general meeting. She didn't know that Nest was the pension for support people. She didn't know that HMRC is tax.
Yeah.
She thought tax was.
Yeah.
I think what are they?
Yeah.
Why are they
no,
not
and it's great you're here, and do join a members network meeting or contact Gary and Amanda, and they'd love to sort of help you, link you up with other people who are trying to make this work, because there are other people trying to walk this path as well, for sure.
Oh, it's just absolutely pathetic. We had such a good social worker before, and because we didn't have any problems, they took him away. So we're faced with this person now who is all about money, saving money. What can we get back from you? Not necessarily how you pay the money on. Because the other thing is, what finished was that when Fiona came back out of county 12, 13 years ago, Hertfordshire County Council set up a new system where people were paid by personal budget. They don't seem to know the difference between personal budget, which is paid by direct payments, and what direct payments are. And that is a great problem, which we're having.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. And do, as a member, influence how we can all speak up about it together. Absolutely.
Can you send me their contact details, please?
Yeah. Can they put their details in the chat, Amanda, Gary? Can you do that? That's brilliant. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mari.
Thank you.
Alex, I can see you've got your hand up.
Yeah. My name's Joss. I'm part of Trace Air, one of Fisher's Ambassadors Trust trustees, and we're doing like this campaign, and basically it's just like what people don't know about, like, because know from like everyone, also people we support, like that, because like because our campaign we're doing at the moment is trying to actually get rid of the care computing costs throughout the entire country, because the only council that hasn't done it is the Hasmus from Fulham and does Hamlet. Because like obviously just the money people getting them for their help with their care is staying the same, but also but their care cost of their care is increasing. Just making people to literally not only going into debt, but also the very hard decision of not having the care that they actually need.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex. I can
Will
see
you make
Sam
sure that
nodding.
Gary and Amanda know about your campaign and we'll share it with other members? That sounds
Yeah.
fantastic. Their
Thank you.
emails are in the chat. Thank you.
That would be great, Alex. Thank
I'm
you
really
for
aware that
raising
people are
that.
needing to leave.
They are. So I'm going to hand to Jodie now to close the meeting.
Okay, so thank you everyone, thank you all the speakers. So thank you to all the staff for the work again, making LDE stronger, and especially to Sam for all the work that you do to run LDE. And thank you to the members for your support, and I hope to see you at the conferences.
Absolutely. To see you all soon. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you to Sarah and Jodie for co-chairing us through this again beautifully. Thank you all.
Pleasure.
Pleasure.